My 29F boyfriend, 27 meters, is a playful guy. Sometimes when he is messing around with me, he can be quite rough. Today he put his worn boxer shorts over my head when we were playing around, and I tried to swipe them away, but my nail hit his lip when I was doing so. He then told me, "You need to be careful. Why are you angry? I just won't play with you anymore." He acts like I'm some violent person and it's really getting to me. A while ago I told him specifically not to be physical with me because I'm a lot stronger than I look. I grew up with a brother who was almost double my size and I learned martial arts for safety a few years ago. I told him not to wrestle or play around with me because I didn't want to hurt him just by blocking him, as that's usually how it would go down. He would do something rough, I'd block it, and then he'd call me violent. To add to this, I also have fairly long nails as I get manicures frequently. I feel bad that he gets hurt when we play, but I don't ever actually consent to any of the playing and just want to be left alone. I don't know what to do. I just feel like I'm getting the raw end of the deal, and I'm being labeled as violent. I don't know what to say in this situation. So he deliberately ignores you when you ask him not to playfully attack you. He puts you in a position where you accidentally hurt him, and then he deliberately makes you feel like shit. This is how someone acts when they want to be able to hurt and manipulate you. It's not how someone acts when they like you and respect you. Why is it his right to do what he wants to you, even when you don't like it? Why is he in charge of deciding that's okay? He actually came to me last night on his own and apologized. He said that my blocking shocks him and makes him grumpy, and that's why he says those things to me. It's still not over, I'm sure, but it's a step. Sounds like he only wants to play if the other person won't offer resistance. That's what I don't like as well. He just wants me to accept the playing when I don't like it. And if I defend myself, I'm made to feel bad about myself. Being called too strong all the time doesn't really make me feel good. Has it occurred to you that he is purposely goading you into these situations so he can play the victim and classify you as the aggressor? This right here. This has Davo written all over it. I just googled this. I wish I had heard of this 17 years ago. It would have saved me a lot of pain. Honestly, he deserved to get punched in the face for putting worn boxers over your head. That's absolutely disgusting. Agree. I would be pissed. Leave when he starts physical play like that. You told him no, and you don't want to fight. Leave instead and don't come back that night. Your plans didn't involve being bullied, so his plans can change too. Don't drink around him, so you're free to go when you need to. You have a right to not be physically assaulted and to not be gaslit. Just because he thinks it's playing around doesn't make it so, and blaming you for violence when he perpetrates it is not okay. If he is continuing to be physical with you and to gaslight you after you have told him not to, it's time to think about moving on to someone who will respect your boundaries. Honestly, this would be a deal breaker for me. He is not respecting your boundaries at all and then wants to blame you for his actions. My BF and I horse around too, but he knows that when I say stop, I say stop. I also get manicures pretty regular, and he has been hurt by my nails and I feel awful when it happens, but he tells me he knew the risk when he starts poking me, and that's on him, not me. Is this not gaslighting? More manipulation than gaslighting, but still shitty. So, he can be rough and violent whenever he chooses to initiate it, but you can't exert just enough force to stop the rough treatment. He is trying to convince you to offer no resistance or mention of a boundary when he wants to be physically rough. Why is it so important to him to physically trample your boundaries? Why is it so important to him to make you feel wrong for stopping him? What will he test next? It's play fighting. Knock his asterisk out next time. Dump him. He's throwing dirty underwear on your head and trying to fight you. Your response to "I just won't play with you anymore" should be "good call. Get out of my house and don't come back." You wrote 27 meters, but this story reads like 7 meters. You're getting set up to be vulnerable to whatever he wants to do to you. GTFO. Wait, he put worn boxers over your head? As in dirty underwear over your head? Hell no. If someone did that to me, I would be done. That's disgusting. That aside, the fact that he doesn't respect your boundaries for not play fighting should be a deal breaker. Repeatedly ignoring your boundaries shows he doesn't respect you. He's putting dirty pants on your head? I would go psycho if someone did that to me. Kick him in the bollocks. Run. He's playing mind games. So, let me be sure I have this straight. Your boyfriend violates your boundaries and plays rough with you, then gets mad and accuses you of being violent when you defend yourself from his violence towards you. I just want to make sure I'm understanding this. Remember in Men in Black, when Jay was talking to the giant cockroach? He said don't start nothing, won't be nothing. You have a problem that goes well beyond play. He is trying to convince you that you have no right to protect yourself against his violence. Get rid of this clown before you have to hurt more than his little man fifis. He's a bully and you scare him, so he's trying to manipulate you. Find a new BF. He don't want the smoke, so you tell him not to be physical with you. He, without your consent, proceeds to joke and be physical with you. You protect yourself and then you are violent? Yeah, if this is a regular behavior, I'd dump the guy and move on the same day. My ex who got arrested for beating his ex-girlfriend with golf clubs called me violent too. It was a running theme. I did things a normal playful couple would do, and it was a big deal when he wanted it to be. I was also weak AF. I had an eating disorder that was so bad that I coughed up blood, had zero balance, and my teeth were becoming loose due to lack of nutrition. So what could I even do? Well, over time, he ended up punching me in the jaw, breaking down a door to get to where I was hiding, and throwing things at my head. He also financially gambled family budget money and sexually abused me. If accusing other people of being violent is the only way your ex and my ex turn out to be similar, I'd be glad. But who knows if that's true. This is reactive abuse. Reactive abuse occurs when the victim reacts to the abuse they are experiencing. The victim may scream, toss out insults, or even lash out physically at the abuser. The abuser then retaliates by telling the victim that they are, in fact, the abuser. breakthecyllinsedv.org, https://breakthecyllinsedv.org/reactive abuse, what it is and why abusers rely on it /cn-reloaded=1. At best he's being super immature. At worst he's actively malicious. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle where he hasn't learned how to treat a romantic interest beyond pulling your pigtails. He is fully too old to be doing this to you though. Particularly the not listening to you asking him to stop. That sort of impulsive behavior followed by a woe is me act is not a great combo to have in a partner. Since you've already told him you don't like him doing it and he hasn't stopped, then I'm not sure what you expect to happen. He's going to keep this up. It's gonna happen again. That's not a partner, that's a child. This reminds me of my ex. He would dramatize anything. It's gaslighting and abuse, readying you for future more dramatic abuse. If I put my boxes over my girlfriend's head, I would expect to get absolutely decked. Similarly, my girlfriend understands that if she tickles me, I'm ticklish to a lethal degree. I become a wacky wavy inflatable arm flailing tube man and I might bop her involuntarily. I set my boundary for her in advance, so it hasn't been an issue. She never told me not to put my boxes on her head. I just don't do that because I'm not a jackass. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You shouldn't have to, but outside of the heat of the moment you should set that boundary with him calmly. Or find a guy that doesn't treat you like a younger brother and then gaslight you into believing it's your fault. This could be one of two things. He's gaslighting you, already planting seeds that you're the perpetrator in both your mind and his own. Or he's salty that you can hurt him and is deflecting it so he doesn't feel like a little bee. Regardless of these scenarios, you are setting boundaries with him and he is not respecting them. A serious conversation is needed away from these play fight scenarios. Like a full-on hey we need to talk conversation where you assert these boundaries again. This way he has nothing to use as a I thought you just said it in the heat of the moment, and it will be obvious if he disrespects the boundary. Then, you have your answer. I'm really sorry he's putting you through this. It can't be nice at all. Sounds abusive. Disrespectful cribby at best, but this is going more into dangerous boundary pushing and manipulation. Why does he seem to enjoy making you feel bad and tearing you down? Your feelings don't matter, not wanting to act like a horse's ass, but once he's hurt it's the end of the world. Flush this turd. Why would he think it was cute to put his booty hole boxes on your face though? The disrespect.